So, good evening, guys. Good evening to everyone. We're back again with another TG podcast. It's that time again, Monday. Happy Monday to everyone, where we talk everything Arsenal. Of course, when you're going through the great result against Aston Villa on the Saturday, and we're going to be talking about the next game against Brighton. We're going to talk about who will Arsenal sign next with only a few days remaining. This is a deadline week, as we know. Will Arsenal make any more signings? We're going to be talking about that as well. But we're joined by, of course, Dom's back with us. By the way, loving the name, mate. Popcorn Dom. And just got the Newcastle train. How are you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, mate. Long journey, but I'm here. I'm getting used to the commute now. It's all good. It's all good. If I can do it, Isaac can do it, right?
Max, yeah, guys. If you don't know what he's on about, by the way, it's about what happened last week, last podcast. Absolutely insane podcast we had last week. And listen, Seb's not turned up, and I wonder why he's not turned up. But anyway, guys,
He's driving Eddie across London.
yeah, exactly, man, exactly. You know, but he will be with us very shortly, guys. He's just running a bit late. I'm sure he'll be with us very soon. And welcome back to the channel as well. Sophie, of course, from Gooner Gossip TV. We had her on towards the end of last season, I think, when we played against Man United. So it's good to have you back, Soph. And we are live on. She's live on her channel on her social media as well. So thanks everyone who's tuning in from her channel. But how you doing today, Soph?
Thank you. It's been a while since we chat, so it's good to be on here. But yeah, thanks so much for having me on.
No worries at all. You're welcome anytime, and it's great to have you back as well. But guys, as I said, get your thoughts in down below in the description. At the end, I'll put everyone's panel so where you can find them on their social medias, as we always do. But let's get into it, guys. Let's get right into things. We're gonna start obviously with that game on the weekends. Arsenal, as you see in the title, guys, Arsenal finally beat Aston Villa. Going to Villa Park, 2-0 away win, keeping the clean sheet as well. Very interesting game, I thought. Obviously, we have the history with Aston Villa. We have the history with Mr. Good Evening, Mr. Emery as well, our ex-manager. Before this, he done Arteta 4 times since when they faced up against each other. And obviously, they did a double with us last season as they did a double over us last season. So it was a very tough game going into it as well. But we got there. It kept a clean sheet. I thought the first half, it was kind of like a chess match, in my opinion. Sort of there's 2 big chances from both sets of sides. I mean, we had that Saka chance where Martinez saved it, and obviously then Ollie Watkins had that really big miss and that massive sitter. And then obviously going into that second half, Villa came on top of us. Sort of like they came out a lot more stronger. David Raya made an absolute exceptional save. Fantastic reactions, for that save. And that kept us in it, because then Trossardinho, Mr. Clutch himself, the super sub off the bench, scores like he did last season, like he always has done. Gets us a goal, and then we kick on from there. Partey gets a second, and we get a 2-0 win, a clean sheet away from home. Very good result. 2 wins in 2. We're taking that all day. But I'll start with So first. What's your whole thoughts on that game, and how happy are you obviously with that result?
I think we had to win that, especially like it being so early in the season. But like you said, with Uni Emery with Villa, we've really struggled to beat them last season. We couldn't beat them home or away, so we had to sort of do that. And I think like you said, the first half, I don't think we were particularly great. I think Ollie Watkins, I don't know how we missed that chance. You're expecting to score those type of chances, so I was like really surprised. But Raya definitely saved us in that game, especially the first half. He was amazing. But I think it was a very hard game because Villa are quite aggressive and difficult to play against. So I think it was a very tough game. But I think we just did what we had to do in the second half, taking our chances, and obviously good to see Partey get a goal as well, because I think this season is going to be big for him. I mean, we don't know how long he's going to stay for, so I really want him to kind of stay fit and have a good season. So yeah, really happy for him. And yeah, I'm just happy that we've won, to be honest, because like you said, if we hadn't have beaten Villa again, I think there would have been questions a bit about Unai Emery. is he better than, Arteta? Because people, talk about that. But I think I'm just relieved we've won because, like I said, I thought it was going to be a draw at one point, and I was like, we've got to win this. So yeah, I'm just really overall happy that we won.
Nah, yeah, very well said indeed, Soph. Yeah, made some great points there. Yeah, I do agree. It was very important that we won this game because I think even before the game, there's so much tension about so much discussion going around the whole managerial debate: who's a better manager, Arteta or Emery. I kind of said it before in my preview. I was like, it's a bit of for me a bit of a pointless debate because if you look on the history, we know Emery's in terms of what he's won and what he's done elsewhere, right, is classed as a better manager, right? But if you're focusing on about who's done a better job at Arsenal, and clearly Arteta has. So I was looking at it thinking, just is one of these debates, but as you said, it's very good that we got that win against against Emery. Because what happened last season, one of the reasons why we didn't go and win the title because we didn't win that game against him, home and away, you could say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very, very agree with you there. And Don, bro, over to you, man. What was your whole sort of breakdown of that match?
I mean, Sophie's covered it really well, but let's see if I can say consistent from where I just covered it a few minutes ago. I think gritty was the word I would use. It was a gritty performance, and you need that in these big away games. I think we showed that the strength we showed of character last season has continued over into this season. This is 5:30 kickoff. It's Villa Park. They're a Champions League side. They will have aspirations to do that again this season. It's our former manager. It's their first game of the season. It's not quite as tough as it gets. That's clearly City, but it's up there with it. We had to ride our luck. Our new forward signing, Ollie Watkins, putting in a shift for us and missing those chances, is already paying off. Good business there for Medu. But you need your luck in these games. We had our luck in this time. But we hung in there. I said after the Wolves, I felt that 10-15 minute period where Wolves were really in the game might actually help us at Villa Park because we wrote that out, and it will show us that we can do it again. And I think that came to the fore. And Trossard, probably the best finisher we have at the club, comes on and he gets that goal. And I think once we went 1-0 up, I wasn't worried at all about the result. Before that, it was very much in the balance. You're thinking, Villa score and that's it. And Raya rightly man of the match after those saves. But was the performance great? No. Do I think the performance is going to be great in these big games anyway? Probably not, because you're not going to dominate the games. But you just need to go there, get your 3 points and come away. And essentially that's what we've done in these first 2 games. And I'm not going to worry about performances at this point. Just want the points, and that's what we've got.
No, absolutely spot on, man. Absolutely spot on. I do agree. Yeah, it was like, I think that's a good word to use as well, a good word to describe it. But we look at the result and feel like, listen, we lost both times to them last season, man. Home and away. We didn't even score against them last season as well. So I think to go there to keep a clean sheet.
Not sure how we didn't score against them, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I think, you know what, to be honest, I think if you look at it from a Villa perspective, they'll be happy with some performances, especially that guy, I think is Morgan Rogers. I think he had a very good game for them, and he looks a very good player as well. Him in the midfield was causing us a few problems, and he was actually the guy in the first half who created that little chance for. Obviously, Gabriel lost the ball, but then he laid it off to Watkins, and he was. Also when Saliba made that fantastic tackle, he was the guy who done a little flick as well. So he had a very good game, like Morgan Rogers. If you look on it,
the whole Villa midfield was really good, wasn't it? I mean, the press was sensational
as well. Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. So I was even listening to Villa fans, and they was like, I had a Villa fan on Madu, big up to him, from the Villa boys. Had him on my my match review, right? And even he was saying like he's not too fussed about the performance. It was the fact that they had chances and that they never took them. And as Don rightly said, Arsenal's new signing Edu Masterclass Watkins burying into 2 absolute sitters. And obviously David Raya, by the way, fantastic save. And people say, "Oh, we hit it straight at him," but at the end of the day, it deflects off the bar. He's gone to save it, and he's on the floor, isn't he? So it's like all about the reaction, and he pulls off a fantastic save. But obviously, I want to talk about Leandro Trossard, guys, right? Because we have this whole thing about who should play on that left side now. Sort of a bit of a headache for Arteta if you look at it, because we know Gabriel Martinelli's been playing the whole preseason. Towards the end of the preseason, you're starting games there, and obviously started the first 2 games. Even I said I would start him as well. I'm a big fan of Martinelli, but I think it's his season now to, really, step up. But now Trossard scored, which he usually does do off the bench. Like, we call him Mr. Clutch for a reason. I'm going to come to you, Soph, on this, right? Is it time now to already drop Gabriel Martinelli? And would you consider playing Trossard after his performance off the bench and scoring against Aston Villa?
It's such a tough one, because I know when I'm on my channel, I ask people this, and I'm thinking myself, like, what would I do? Because I think Trossard, like, I do like him when he comes off the bench, because, like you said, he's like that impact sub. Years ago when Giroud come off the bench, he was going to score or do something. So I like Trossard off the bench, but I also feel as though he should be starting. Like, he's doing what he needs to be doing to start, so why not start him? Martinelli, it's a tough one with him, because I think a lot of fans at the moment are losing their patience a bit with him. So I hope in time Martinelli's confidence comes back. I just think he's out of form maybe, and he's just struggling, overthinking a few things, doing too many touches instead of just shooting. So I think with Martinelli, I really hope his confidence does come back, but I think you've got to start Trossard at the game, because Brighton as well. I mean, I think he's earned his right to start, but I don't know what Teta would do. It's a tough one, really, because we know Martinelli's got a lot of pace on him. He's a very good player when he's got that confidence, but right now he just seems quite low in confidence, and I just don't think going into the game against Brighton, he's going to really take his chance.
No, yeah, I definitely hear you for sure. I've always looked at it about Martinelli, and I was just thinking last season, because he, I think lacking a bit of confidence for himself. Of course, part of it's down to him as well, but I also think what was around him, like on that left-hand side, like, it didn't help the fact that there's a left-back change every single week, effectively. Like, one week it was Kivior, Zinchenko would always invert, and obviously you can play there, but Tomiyasu played there as well for a few games. So I don't think that really helped him too much, because if you look to the other side, you've got Ben White overlapping Saka, give him that support there. And then also the left-hand side with the left 8 as well, that kept changing. It's Havertz there. I think we tried Trossard there. I remember against Brentford. Obviously, Declan Rice played there towards the end of the season. So I don't think that helped him as well. But I do agree. I think with Martinelli, he's becoming frustrating, because we know the quality that this player has, man. Yeah, we've seen it already in previous seasons. But I just think he's lacking a bit of confidence. And I think with the new left back coming in, Timber or Calaflori, who's going to play there, and also with Mikel Merino coming in, I think that we can really hopefully see the best out of Gabriel Martinelli. But it's the same thing. It's down to him as well. Like, I do agree. He sometimes overthinks things when it comes to the final third. But I want to obviously come to Dom on this. What do you make of, obviously, Trossard's come off the bench yet again and obviously scoring? And does that for you sort of change, Arteta's lineup and, going into the Brighton game?
I think I need to be consistent on this point, right? So I think, just very quickly on Martinelli, I think Sophie hit it on the head. I said it last week. It's a confidence thing. And I think it is meaning he's overthinking it. He's taking that extra touch. He's just not acting on instinct. Also, he's getting a little bit unfortunate at times. A couple of times against Wolves, he's played the ball back into the right areas, and the Wolves defenders got there. That fall to someone, and they put it in the net. Suddenly, he's got his assist. So I think he's a goal away from that confidence coming back. I think he probably has been impacted by that left-hand side a little bit, but that's true of Trossard. I think the difference being that Trossard, being that bit older and a bit more experienced, probably can handle that a little bit better. And I said on Gooner Gathering just before this that there's something in the NFL, and I'm a big NFL fan, about sometimes players in their second season, and this is essentially his third season since he made that big breakthrough, but we've only just started it, where actually sides know what they're going to do, they adapt to it, and then the player has to adapt. And I wonder if he's still going through some of that. So I think that's kind of where I am with Martinelli. I'm not a big fan of this reaction some in the fan base have got that he's not good enough. He's got to be moved on. I'm not a big fan of this scapegoating that we sometimes do as a fan base. Players will go through patches of form where it's not quite there. Zinchenko did it at times last season. Partey's been experiencing it a little bit this season, and I think Martinelli's in that space now. In terms of Trossard, I think he's a quality player. He is good off the bench. He makes an impact when he starts. And I like him on that left hand side where he can interchange with Havertz or probably Moreno going forward. I think I said last week I'd start Martinelli almost regardless against these 3 games. I think I changed my mind on that, not just because of the Trossard goal, although I think that is a factor. I think we saw that Villa changed the way they played, probably unexpectedly. They were a little bit deeper than we thought they'd be, and that obviously isn't necessarily where you get the best out of Martinelli. He needs that little bit of space to run into, which he got at times. And to Sophie's point, you could see the confidence there where he wasn't taking players on. But I think against Brighton, they were playing a similar way to Villa, how they played at Villa Park. And I think those sorts of opponents is where you want Trossard with not necessarily the outright pace, but the trickery, the cleverness. That's the kind of player you want. It's also his former team, and he's banging form. So I think you make that change now. But I would bring Martinelli back in for Spurs because Spurs will play that high line regardless. They just won't change, and that might. Imagine Martinelli coming on, score it, or playing at White Hart Lane, scoring a goal, which I think he could with that line. Suddenly, what that does for him. So I think that's where I am with that. But Trossard does have to start for me against Brighton.
Yeah, I definitely hear you with one.
So he's gone into that tunnel just outside. But
You'll
yeah,
be
I
back
mean,
in a minute, probably. Yeah, it goes in and
yeah,
out the signal.
with,
Again,
with
freezing.
his Big Mac, here he is.
That needs
You're
Wi-Fi.
back.
Anyone wants a Big Mac or?
Don't worry, my Wi-Fi is not great either.
Happens every single time. But what was I saying? Yeah. As Don was saying with Martinelli, yeah, I think I agree. Like, he will thrive because he's gonna love that space in behind, and that's what Tottenham will play with the high line. So yeah, I think definitely Martinelli to play against Tottenham. But yeah, Trossard coming back in, as you said, against former club. We will talk about that game very shortly as well. Of course,
It's the
'cause
type of options you want, though, right, Josh? Where you've got those players for different games. You don't necessarily want the same 11
cool.
every game. It gives you those options so that you're not as predictable. And I think that's only a positive for us as well.
No, absolutely, yeah, 100% for sure there. But yeah, obviously, just saying on this game very quickly, guys. In terms of getting this clean sheet as well, on David Raya, I want to talk about him because obviously I've mentioned about that incredible save, but this is not the first time this season now where he sort of saved us. I remember in the Wolves game, he pulled us some good saves there. And listen, there's a lot of talk about him getting Golden Glove last season and people saying, it's because of the defense he's got in front of him and all this. But I think he's proving how good of a goalkeeper this guy actually is. Not just with the incredible saves, but I just like the way, even playing out from the back, you can tell he's very, very suited there. His distribution, really like. He's demanding, from crosses. He's looking like to be a very, very good goalkeeper. Obviously, we have signed him permanent now, but I want to get your thoughts on him. Of course, I'm going to come to Soph first. Obviously, your thoughts on David Raya, and do you agree? Sort of like in these 2 games with our defense, I think that Wolves game they looked a bit shaky at times, and even in that Villa game, a few occasions there. What do you make of obviously like this whole David Raya as a goalkeeper?
I think when he first came, I think like maybe the first few games when he came in, he struggled a bit. I think you could say then defensively, we were quite strong and it did sort of make him look good. But I think towards the end of last season, I think you could really see he was growing in confidence. And I think we've got to remember, he was at Brentford, and when you are at Arsenal, it's a different level. And I think he had to needed time to kind of adjust to that, because at Arsenal you're expected to challenge for titles, you're expected to win a lot, and I think at Brentford it's sort of just a different standard there. No disrespect to Brentford, of course, but at Arsenal we need to be winning things. So I think people are quite harsh on him at first, but I think he did need time after a while. But so far this season, I feel quite surprised how good he's been, because we saw last season what he was like, and maybe this is sort of the level he can get to. So I think I feel really excited. I feel quite proud of him too, because I know last season was quite hard for him with, I know a lot of fans, it took a lot of time for us to be won over by Raya, because we had that love for Ramsdale, which was obviously very tough. But yeah, I feel really happy for Raya. I think this season he's going to do amazing, but like you said, Josh, so far he's been amazing. Like last week, I thought, defensively, Saliba was a little bit shaky at the back, and Raya saved us so many times then. And yeah, I think this weekend he impressed me so much with the saves he made, and I just hope that he can keep it up. And it's nice to see that him getting that praise online, that support from fans. So yeah, I just feel really proud of him, really.
Yeah, no, very well said. And yeah, listen, like I do agree. Like obviously when he first came into Arsenal, he had a very sort of shaky start. Remember the games against Chelsea. I think there's a few other games in there where I remember when fans were singing Ramsdale's name, like while he's in goal, and like what's that going to do for the guy's confidence? And that's why maybe he
Yeah.
was looking a bit shaky, but slowly but surely, as he's getting more consistent game time, he's growing his Arsenal side. Obviously, a goalkeeper, you understand the whole back four you're dealing with as well, and they've just been phenomenal. And so far 2 clean sheets in 2 games this season. Obviously, we had the best defense last season, most clean sheets. He got Golden Glove last season. I think he's went on course to do it again. But before I move into Dom, my brother Oregon Goon, my guy Dow with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Dow. He says, let me understand this. I wasted breakup for over 15 years. Now they're back together. Of course, yeah, they are back together, and we Arsenal haven't won the league. Yeah, it's crazy, ain't it, man? It's crazy. But and then he's also put hashtag get Josh new Wi-Fi fun. Respect, man. Big up to Dow, man. This guy's an absolute real one. He goes on. He has a great show with. He has a great show with TJ Warren. They do the American Idiot. So I haven't checked out the channel over there. Make sure you guys check them out as well. I'll leave it right in the chat right now for you guys to go and subscribe to them. But Dow, absolute real one, man. Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, Don, bro, coming in to you about obviously Raya. What have you obviously made because of what people were saying about he won Golden Glove, but that's because of how good our defense was. Yeah. Do you think this season he's already proven, based on, I know it's early days, but based on the 2 games you've seen, that he's actually a very good goalkeeper?
Yeah, I mean, just very quickly, it's funny you mentioned American Idiot. I once came out in a cup final to that. But there you go. That's a side side. But yeah, look, the saves were a champagne supernova moment for him, weren't they? Really. I'm getting my Aerosmith lines in early. But yeah, look, Raya, when he came in, I was a little bit skeptical. I always thought he was a good goalkeeper, but I didn't think he was necessarily a massive upgrade on Ramsdale. I think he's probably proved me wrong on that score. But what I think he has done is shown why Arsenal were so intent on moving towards that style of goalkeeper and play out from the back and the difference it makes. And we saw that last season with his ability with his feet, his calmness. And I've always admired that about him, that he does have that. But we didn't necessarily see those big saves. That was well timed, me talking about why we moved on from Leno and Seb arrives. Hi, Seb. But it's like calling Beetlejuice, isn't it? What was going to say? But what we didn't see last season was the big save moments, not that often, and we've seen 2 in 2 from him. And I think you asked me about the defense make him look good. I think it's a symbiotic relationship, isn't it? The defense will make a goalkeeper look good, but a goalkeeper can make a defense look good because they're one. And I think
Mm.
when you play in defense, if you have a goalkeeper behind you you trust, it brings a calmness to you and a confidence to you that helps you defend better, and vice versa. And I think we've seen that there's a trust there, and as they got more used to him, we've sort of seen that coming out. And if I'm an attacker right now, playing against Arsenal, I think I've got to get past that wonder wall of a back four. That's 2, by the way. I'm going to see how many Oasis gags I can get in tonight. And you get past them, and suddenly you're thinking, "Oh Christ, I've now got to beat Raya, who can save almost anything after those 2 wonder saves." So, as Sophie said, I think real, props to him. He's getting the praise he deserves right now, and I think we're sort of seeing it more and more. So, I was delighted for him to get man of the match, and I think we've got one of the top goalkeepers in the league right now.
Yeah, no, very well said indeed. And look who's arrived. We got Seb, of course. Get your popcorn out, guys. About to get interesting with Seb and Tom. But Seb, thanks for coming on, man. How you doing, man? Firstly, you all good?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah, good. Thank you. Looking forward to this one. Yeah, good, great results.
Yeah, we've just been talking about obviously the result against Emery's Villa, beating them 2-0. What was your whole make of that game and that performance?
Yeah, we did what we had to do. Basically, the most important thing was to get the win, because it was very important that you actually, as most people think, because thinking about it, if you look at the games we've got coming up, like we've got Brighton next week, then we got Spurs, and then we got City. It was so important we won that game, because also there's little margin for error when you are going for this league. There's little margin for errors. So it was important that we got the results, because if you look at City's fixtures, they're likely to be going into the game against us on maximum points. So, and plus we had Tottenham in there, we had Brighton in there. Next week's going to be tricky, and this was obviously a very hard place to come. And I was actually impressed with the performance. Obviously, first half we did ride our luck at times. I know Watkins missed an easy chance, and obviously Raya made that unbelievable save before we took the lead. But I thought on the whole we were managing it well. But before we scored the goal, I was like, this is the type of game where we need that killer up front. That's to kill it off. And then Trossard comes on, and then bang. And then from then onwards, we were excellent. It was just all really, it was only going to really be one winner after we got the goal. But all we needed for it was a goal for the game to open up. And we did that very well. So, yeah, I thought we did what we needed to do. There were some great individual performances out there and some not so good. Martinelli is a worry. I'm not ready to give up on him just yet by far, but I think he's a great player. But I think he needs to come outside a couple of games, because he's just not as sharp as he has been. And I didn't think Thomas Partey was having his best game until we actually got the goal, which, of course, and Declan Rice was all right, but on the whole, I thought Saliba excellent, Ben White excellent, Timber was very good, Raya man of the match. But yeah, overall, I was happy with the win. It's a big win, a good hard place to go.
No, yeah, 100%, bro. 100% agree with you there. It's definitely a very tough place to go. It's a very good win. We're all happy with that for sure. Good to go there, keep a clean sheet, as we saying. But yeah, I think we're all in the same boat with the whole Martinelli and Trossard thing as well. You said to drop Martinelli, not because you don't rate him, because I think what Dom also pointed out is like, when we play against Tottenham, they're going to play his high line, and that's going to be really suited to someone like Martinelli. So I think Trossard will be a lot more better, especially against his former club as well coming up. And that brings me on nicely. We're going to move from this game to obviously our next game on Saturday against Brighton at home. 12:30 kickoff as well at the Emirates. Obviously, we know Brighton started off with a new manager as well, the youngest manager as well. I think I saw it today. James Milner is older than him. I think this is the first time it's happened in Premier League history that a player is actually older than the manager. But yeah, he's got off to a really good start. In fact, they've won 2 of their games. They smashed Everton, to be fair. They had a great performance there, and obviously beat Man United as well. Left it late, but put a great result for them. They're currently on 6 points. And I know we did a double over them last season when they had a good manager in De Zerbi, but there has been occasions where Brighton sometimes do and can get the better of us, especially at the Emirates as well. There's been a few occasions there as well, so it's going to be a very tough game. I'm going to come to So first. So, how are you feeling going into this game against Brighton on Saturday?
I think, I think like you said, it's going to be tough, especially with our record. I know recently we have, in the last season or two, we have done well, but I think they've had a really good start to the season as well with their new manager as well. So I'm nervous about the game, but I think for us, because we've won our 2 games and we've got the clean sheet, I think I would like to see a better performance from us, if I'm being honest. I know I think we did improve. I mean, Saliba was much better. Like some of these players are starting to have that confidence back. Being out for a while, will take them time to get back. Especially like I think with Declan Rice, Saka, they've been playing in the Euros. They just need a bit of time to sort of adjust again. But we should win this, and obviously we've got to win this. But yeah, it'd be interesting to sort of see, like we said, will Trossard start, will Martinelli start? I think the midfield would be great to see that the same. I think Partey had a good game, and I hope to see more of that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We've got to win that, but it'll be so tough. Like you said, our record's not the best, but I think it being at the Emirates, I think we should win it. But yeah, I think defensively, I feel quite confident because how good Raya's been. I just think we need to sort of take more of our chances really going forward. But yeah, I feel quite confident that we'll win though.
Yeah, same here as well. I'm in the same boat. I'm feeling confident we can go Emirates. I think it's very, very obviously we're at home. It's not gonna be an easy game.
Yeah.
But I think we'll get over, based on how we started the season, how we've been playing. We should get over the line and we should be getting the 3 points. Going into the international break as well, I think it's important to get the 3 points. So going into the international break will be on 9 points, obviously. And then it's a big ones after that, Tottenham and then City away as well, back to back. So yeah, it's important that, we get the win and the 3 points. But I'll come to you obviously next, Dom. What's your thoughts and feelings going into this game, obviously against Brighton, of course, with their new manager as well?
I'm assuming the game's sponsored by Pampers in honor of the Brighton manager, right? Because he's 12. No, but I mean, in all seriousness, right? I mean, that was obviously tongue in cheek. And by the way, there have been other players that played for manager older than him. Ryan Mason at Spurs, he wasn't even 30, was he, when he was manager? So Harry Kane's 56, so he will have been older than Ryan. But no, I mean, look, the Brighton manager has done a really good job, and I think they've had a really, really good transfer window as well. So I think it's important to, despite my flippant comment, to not take them lightly. But I think we should be too strong for them here. And I think that defence, as Sophie alluded to, is looking really good. And I'd love a third clean sheet. That would be sensational. But I think we're going to have too much for them going forward. I think Rice, Saka, they're growing into the games more and more as they get more and more match fitness going back. I think Partey has started the season well. I think you have to give some credit to the Aston Villa midfield that put a lot of pressure on them. And, Rice didn't have his best game. I'm not going to kill him for that. It's early. I'm not too worried about performance at this point. For me, you just want the points still only very early in the season. I think I'll worry when we get to October if we're still playing like this, but I don't expect necessarily to. And for me, again, with this run of games, you've just got to roll with it. You've got to take it little by little. That's 4. I'm going for 10. And get the points. And I'm confident 3 points on Saturday. And that going into international break 9 for 9 would be sensational. So yeah, I'm confident. I'm going to another 2-0.
Another 2-0, 3 2-0s in a row. Fair enough. Seb, how are you feeling about this Brighton game at the Emirates as well?
Ooh, it's a very interesting one because obviously, as I said, Brighton started very well. They beat Everton and Man United, which were very good wins for them. And this is a team where we have struggled against a lot in recent years, apart from last season, especially at the Emirates. They seem to be one of these teams that love coming here. But I think we should still beat them if we have enough, and if we play our best, we should have too much with them. But again, it's about, can Arsenal really, really, really keep this going into this? And it's a really, really interesting one. I do think we will win, but can't be underestimated. And of course, it's an early kick-off, so there's always that factor. But we need the points, really. We need them.
No, for sure. We certainly do, man. You know, we
Also,
dropped points.
starting 11 is going to be crucial as well. Depends
Yeah,
on
that's you, man. I'm going to ask you all that what your lineups would be in just a minute. But no, just going back to what you said, it is crucial that we get the 3 points, of course, because I remember what you said actually a few podcasts ago, Seb. You said that we need to, for you to feel confident we win the league, that Arsenal must go unbeaten at home.
Yes,
You said
I
that.
stand by that. I very much stand by that. Going unbeaten at home is an absolute must if we are going to win the title.
I mean, last season there was games like West Ham at home, we lost 2-0. Obviously Villa as well. Fulham, we dropped points. So I think you are right.
Can't afford to be doing any of that this year.
I think you are right as well. Before we move into that, let's big up everyone in the chat as well, guys. Everyone watching on all the channels. We are live on mine, as we know, and also Sophie. She's on her Twitter and also her YouTube as well. So thanks everyone from her tuning in, from her viewers tuning into mine. And if you guys have any questions for the panel you want to ask, I will start them, and then towards the end of the show, we're going to go all through them. So leave your questions down below as well. I'm gonna pin them up. I'll keep starting them as well as they go along. But let's get into
sorry, Josh,
Yeah.
really quickly. I mean, Seb was alluding to the importance of points, right? What do we think, given the difficulty of his start? Because I've been doing math because I like doing math. We think the minimum of points we can take from these games if to win the league is.
For me, obviously we've got 6 so far.
Obviously, we want 15. I'm just saying, what do we think
15.
the minimum is?
Out of these,
Out of the first 5.
Out of the first 5, how many wins or points?
Points. I'm gonna say 13.
13.
Yeah, I agree with Seb. 13. What about you, Dom?
Well, I'm interested in Sophie, and then I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, Soph, how many do you think we need out of in the first 5?
I'm with you. I think 13 would be a fair thing, considering we've got a lot of tough games coming up. I mean, I think for me the Spurs game, the Man City game is the one I'm thinking, oh, I want to get that out of the way. But yeah, it's going to be tough. We've got a lot of tough games coming up, really. But yeah, I reckon about the same as you guys, really.
See, I think you can get slightly less than that and still win the league. Obviously, you want the maximum, but the reason I think you can do less, right? So I've been doing maths and I like maths, so bear with me. You can all go and have a snooze for 30 seconds. But you need on average 2.3 points per game, right? That's 91 points, give or take, right? 92 points was what it took for City. If you call it 95 points, you're looking about 2.4 points a game. I don't think you're going to need that many this season. When you're playing this run of games, you've basically got 5 sides that are looking for Europe. You can probably get around about the 2 point-ish mark, because you'd expect to make up the 0.3, 0.4 when you play Forest, Brentford, Palace, Southampton, Leicester, etc., etc. So I think it's really important that while we want to get as many points as possible, if we come out of this with 13 points, brilliant, absolutely amazing. But I don't think it's a disaster if we don't. I think it's really important that we look at that wider context when we're analysing the start of the season in a few weeks' time. And that's why I was interested in the question, because I don't think we're out of the title race with 10 points. I really don't.
I hear it, man. Yeah, I do hear where you're coming from for sure.
Who knew maths could be so interesting, right?
Yeah, facts, absolute facts. Yeah, let's move to obviously the lineups for Arsenal and Brighton. I'll come to you first, Soph. What would be the lineup that you would like to see Ante go with?
I think for me, like the weekend, I was pretty happy with that lineup. I was really happy to see Timber. I wouldn't mind seeing Calafiori, but I suppose I'd probably rather stick with Timber. But I think the only change that I would probably make is Trossard. I think everything else worked fine, and I was really happy with that. Especially, I have my thoughts on Zinchenko, and I think he's better not playing right now. So I think the left back, I'm quite open about who plays in that with, Calafiori, Timber. So either of them I would be happy with, but I'd probably expect Timber. Yeah, I mean, obviously I would play Trossard, but it will be interesting to see what Arteta does decide, because there is the argument, is Martinelli better playing a full game and Trossard's better coming off the bench to make that impact? And obviously it's Trossard's old team, Brighton, so maybe he might want to, do well and score lots of goals. But yeah, I think I wouldn't change much, because I don't think we need to. I think it's working out well. I mean, I know we've mentioned Declan Rice looks quite tired at the moment, and he's obviously not done what we expect him to do, but I think in time, I think he's going to get much better. So yeah, I don't think they need to change too much, really.
No, yeah, fair enough. I don't think he will, to be honest, as well. We're also talking about the whole Martinelli Trossard debate as well. Maybe that could be one of the changes. And obviously, Mika Marino, if he is signed, which I think he is going to be announced hopefully tomorrow. Can't be unsure of that, guys, but it's hopefully tomorrow he will be playing.
Yeah.
Possibly may play against Brighton as well in terms of starting. But I'll come to you, Dom, mate. What would be your lineup for the Brighton game?
I'm going to agree with Sophie again. She's electric tonight. That's 5. I was going to say. So I think I said before, like at the end of this season, and I said in May, that actually playing the players that are familiar with Arteta might be really important to start the season as people come back. I think it's become even more important given the difficulty of the start. So I would go nearly unchanged from the last game. I think Calafiori probably looking to bring him on 65, 70 minutes if the game's safe at that point. Even if it's not, I think he's good enough to get more minutes into his legs. And Marino coming off the bench will probably be sensible. But the change I make is I think Seb's struggling to see. He seems to be getting his binoculars out.
No, I'm just looking at the
I
comment.
know. There's also it's Trossard celebration. Right? I mean, Trossard comes in for Martinelli. I think the decision for Arteta, though, and I didn't raise this point earlier when I was sort of talking through the pros and cons. I think he needs to go Trossard, because I think we do need to win this one, and Trossard against his old club, and you do need to reward players. But will be, what does that do for Martinelli if he comes out? Now, I think Arteta is a good enough man manager that he can manage that, but I think that will probably be one of the things he will be considering. But I think for this one, it needs to be Trossard for all the reasons I articulated earlier, and that's the only change I make.
Yeah, fair play. Seb, what'll be your lineup for the
Yeah, I
Brighton
agree
game?
with Dom. I think Trossard definitely needs to start, because Martinelli's not really on it, and Trossard every time he's always been direct. You saw how he changed that game when he came on, and obviously he didn't look happy with being subbed. So
Yeah, but he shouldn't look back in anger.
yeah, but the thing is that we want these guys to be happy as well, and you play people based on form, and this is against a good side here, so we've got to get the team selection right. So, but anything else I do agree with. I think Timber should start at left back, keep the other back four the same, and then keep partying at midfield with Odegaard and Rice, and then Saka, Havertz, and Trossard. I think that should beat Brighton, but yeah, they've all got to play at their best. If we do so, then we should be fine. But it will be tough, because they are a bogey team at the Emirates, and they have started well, and they are a team that can cause problems. But yeah, if we go with that 11, then I'll be confident that we can do the job.
Yeah, for me, I'm with you guys with the changes. I think obviously we keep Ryan goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber. For me, I'm going to keep it left back, because actually impressed. I think you can tell a lot. He's going to be in a lot going forward as well. You saw how he's inviting really well, the way how he switched to play really well. I noticed a few times in the Villa game. Also defensively as well, I think he's very solid. So I don't think he got too. I think Leon Bailey had a not the greatest games, because Timber didn't really have any problems against him that I can remember, and I think he's reasonably solid. I would love to see Calafiori there as well, whatever Arteta do, but I think he'll keep Timber there, and then obviously midfields again. If Marino signs this week, guys, would you play him, throw him straight in number 8?
No.
No, come off the bench.
Off the bench. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
He won't have had many training. He won't have had many training sessions. So
I think he'll have trained today. He'll train all week. But I think if you remember back to what Thomas Partey said when he arrived and what Declan Rice said when he arrived about the complexity of playing in that central midfield role in an Arsenal system, they both said it took them a little bit of time to get up to speed. And I think that's why you don't start Moreno. I mean, you could sign, I don't know, pick the best number 8 in the world, and I'd still be saying that. It's not a reflection on him; it's a reflection on the
oh yeah, of
complexity
course. Well, when new players come in, they do. Most of them do generally start on the bench.
Yeah.
For
number 7, it's all got to be part of the master plan.
What's that?
So I'm doing Oasis songs. I'm trying to get the head. You missed one earlier. Went straight over your head when I said "Don't look back in anger," but I carried on anyway. It was fine. I enjoyed myself. That's the main thing.
But yeah, obviously, yeah, Marino coming in, he'll be on the bench. Rice, Odegaard, Partey, 3 in the midfield. And then I do agree, Martinelli for me dropped. Trossard, Dino on the left against his former club as well. Saka, and then Kai Havertz obviously leads a line for Arsenal, so that would be the lineup there. Let's quickly move to the predictions, and I'll come to you, So first. How do you see the game going?
I do see us winning. I do see us getting a clean sheet, but I'm 2-0, 3-0. I think 3-0. We could do it, but yeah, I think it does depend as well. Lineup. I think if Trossard's playing, I'm confident he'll do really well. But yeah, honestly, I'm not bothered how we win. I think we've just got to win these games. It would be great to keep another clean sheet. But yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal.
3-0 to Arsenal. I've actually gone the same as you as well. Funny enough, thinking about it, I think another clean sheet, 3 clean sheets in a row. I think goals as well. I think we'll do well, and I think 3-0, comfortable win for me. Obviously, Dom, you've already gave a prediction. You've gone 2-0, just like last season, at the Emirates.
I like the symmetry of 3-2-0s, right? I think if we get off to a supersonic start for 8, then we could go 3-0. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. A lot of people saying 3-1 in the chat. I wouldn't be shocked. I just really, really, really want a 3rd clean sheet. I'd also like Wanyeri to come on and get 20 minutes and show how good he is.
Yes, Seb, the Trossardinho celebration.
I know these people in the chat anyway. I know these guys in the chat.
Are they Arsenal fans? Big up to them. Oh no, they're not even Arsenal fans.
This guy's a Brighton fan, George.
Brighton.
Oh no.
Brighton fan. Yeah. Oh. I'll tell you what, he really gives it.
Does he? He's ex-player to dunk on him, He'll be there.
Yeah, but if they lose, they might slide away for 9.
Oh yeah. Well.
Do you know Ryan as well, Seb?
Yeah, he's a Liverpool fan. He's Liverpool.
They might be getting Chiesa. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't quite. They're getting more wingers than Chelsea, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, should we upset him by talking about number 6s?
Exactly, man. You do Eddie and Katie celebration quick. What's your prediction, Seb?
I'll go for another 2-0. 2-0 FC.
2-0 FC.
2-0 FC. 2-0 FC. 2-0.
It's an upgrade on the George Graham chant, isn't it? 2-0
Oh yeah, George Graham was 1-0 FC.
1-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, but are you'll be at the game, Seb, on that?
Yeah, yes, I'm going to be there. Yes.
I enjoy it, mate. Hope it's a win for you, man, as well. And
so too.
We get 3 wins in 3. But
perfect. That'll be brilliant.
Yeah, I've gone 3-0, as I said, guys, as well. Let's move, obviously, to the next topic, the final topic of this show. We're talking about the transfer window yet again.
Here we go. Now this is where we're
on now until it ends, of course. We're talking about who will be Arsenal's next signing. Been, as always, number of names been mentioned. In terms of winners as well, I'll do my transfer daily show every day. I've been talking about Lookman, Nico Williams, like that Brighton winner. I don't know what his name is. Like this goes on and on and on of winners like we've been linked with. And also in terms of that attacker, it's all about getting this attacker in at the moment as the final position. I personally think we need 2, but I don't see us getting 2. I think it'd be 1. So let's obviously talk about it. Who's going to be Arsenal's next signing? I'm going to start with Sophie first. Obviously, with only a few days left now, what do you think, firstly, Arsenal needs left in terms of this position-wise, in terms of what we need left to obviously complete this transfer window? And also, do you see, it getting done, with a few days left of the window? Do you think Arsenal can pull something off on deadline day or something?
I think so far, I mean, I think a lot of fans are a bit underwhelmed with sort of who we've brought in. I mean, obviously Calafiori is great, but I think we want a few more signings than that. I know Marino is not been announced yet, but a lot of us know that we'll probably expect that hopefully in the next few days. But I don't honestly expect us to sign anyone else. I really want a striker. I have for like so long. I think the first game we played against Wolves, I think we were so good like we were last season, but it was so obvious that we're just missing that striker. And Jesus looks like to be injured. I don't think he's going to be out for a while, which is good. But the Ketia as well is probably going to go to Crystal Palace, which would be great. But yeah, I think we just need a striker. Like I'd happily take Ivan Toney, but I don't think that's happening. It looks like he's going to go to Saudi. But yeah, I think if this ended right now, I would be a bit disappointed. Probably would want a striker, but I think Marino coming in, obviously he'll be a great signing for us in that midfield. But yeah, I don't really think we're going to do much other than that. But if we did, obviously, I'd be really happy. But yeah, I really want a striker, but I don't think we're going to do that, unfortunately.
I'm with you for sure in terms of the striker. Obviously, we heard the news of Gabriel Jesus injured yet again, but I think it's came out that it's not that serious as made out to be. But he's still picked up another injury there. And I was going through his injury record the other day on one of my shows. I was looking at it thinking, every single season this guy picks this same injury up. I think
it's almost as bad as Neto. Almost
Seb, as bad as Neto.
No.
Almost
No, Neto was a no-brainer. I'm telling you now, Osimhen. Now, Napoli.
Listen, his price has dropped today.
Yes. Now, Napoli accepted 55 million from a Saudi club. Fortunately, Osimhen doesn't want to go there. Now, come on. In and get him. If we're really serious about winning this league, we have got to go and get him. And I know for a fact Arteta has wanted him in the past because he wanted him before we got Jesus. It was really him. But because Napoli were demanding 120 million, Arsenal moved on to other targets and got Jesus.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe those rumours. So come on. It's an absolute no-brainer, especially it's available for that price. Because seriously, we're going for the title here. And these are the type of players that get you those extra points. So there's him. And of course, there's Gorkarez and there's Toney. Now, people cannot say there is no one available. All that. That's always been a complete myth. They're there if you pay the money. Get on the phone, pay the money, it's done. And they agree it's not rocket science. If Osimhen is available for 55 million or 60 million, it's a steal. And don't say we don't have money because we clearly do. And especially if Nketiah is about to go, take the 30 million. And yes, I do think it is time for Eddie to go, but I'm not excited about him going. I mean, I'm excited about what's coming in afterwards. That's what you get excited about, what comes in afterwards, especially if you are going to move forward. Because if he better not end up at Chelsea, because I will be fuming as well if he goes there.
Yeah, because
you saw how angry I was with Neto.
Napoli just signed Lukaku as well, Seb.
Sorry?
Chelsea. Napoli just signed Lukaku.
Yeah, exactly. So they got their replacement in. So now they can sell. So now they can sell Osimhen. They've got their guy in. So I'm telling you now, if he's another one that ends up at Chelsea, I'm going to be absolutely fuming. It's like I was in Neto. I was fuming about that. And a few seasons ago, Dom, yes, Basuma, fuming. These signings do eventually come back and bite us if we don't get them.
Basuma, really?
Yes.
I mean, I think I covered it last week. On
Yeah,
Basuma.
we don't need to go through it again.
No, I mean, I can prove why you're wrong again if you like, but otherwise we move on.
Don't prove me wrong. Okay, maybe he hasn't done that much there, but I'm telling you now, it will eventually come back.
You sound like New York Giants supporters on Daniel Jones. Eventually it'll work. It'll be fine.
No. What do you mean with that?
Oh, never mind. Basuma is not what we wanted, and we'll never sign for Arsenal. We should never sign him.
Well, at the time, it was a no-brainer. Of course, you do it. This time, Osimhen's a no-brainer. You go and do it. Before then, Neto was available. We should have done it.
I can give you 59.4% reasons why we shouldn't have done Neto.
Oh, because of injury. Well, Tommy Ashley is constantly injured. So is Partey. So is Jesus now. So what's your point?
My point is that you don't sign players when you know they've got an injury record. You might sign players when they have got when they turn out to have injury records. But there's some players.
Yeah, but there's some players you take the risk on. Neto was one we take the risk on. Trust me,
not with 5 years worth. If Neto had had a season's worth of injuries, and we should move on from this because we covered it last week at length.
He is one of the best wingers in the league. One of the best in the league.
Yeah, but not when he's not available, and he consistently showed he wasn't. Anyway, we should probably, rather than repeat the thing from last week, because I don't want you too tired out from that train down. I think for me, really quickly, I think there will be an attacking signing. I said it last week, and I'm more comfortable and confident this week.
It really has to be.
We've missed out on Jordan Ayew. That's a shame, but but I think with Vieira going out the door, like, to get serious, Vieira going out the door, and Nketiah going out the door for good money, I think we are short if we don't get one. I think one is enough. I think it's really important to balance the squad in terms of numbers and not having too many, because then you can lead to players not getting the game time they want whilst giving yourself enough. And I think there's a flexibility along that line. Trossard can play 9, 8 at push. I don't like him there. 10 left wing, right wing, but I don't like him in all those positions. But you've got it there. Havertz can play a couple of positions. Martinelli can play on either hand. Jesus, etc. So I think one will be fine, particularly if Reece Nelson doesn't go. You've got an emergency in there if need be. So I think one will fine. I think it will probably be a winger that will come in. Who that will be, I don't know, but I am increasingly confident that Arsenal will bring in a forward. Arteta alluded to it, that he needed one more at least. He said he didn't have 23, I think it was, he said, on Saturday. So I think one will come in. Who it will be, whether it will be a loan or a permanent, I don't know, but I'm confident that someone will come in. The only other thing I will just take issue with that was said was it is not as simple as just signing up and paying the money. There are a lot of other factors that go into a signing about where players go. Sometimes it's money, but I sometimes it is a lot of other factors that go into it. So it's not as simple as that, but I've always been comfortable that the window hasn't opened up, right? It's been a market where there have been very few opportunities to date. There's 800 million has been spent less in Premier League this year than compared to this time last year. That shows that the market's not been quite so open, but I think this week it's going to be far more open and we will see some moves. And I think Arsenal will, assume Moreno's done, which I think it is, or whether you count that or not, I think you'll see one more on top of him come in this week. Possibly 2 if we see Ramsdale move, but I think a forward will come in.
Yeah, for sure, man. Sophie's got to obviously go. Soph, just before you go, do you want to shout out your channel and where people can find you as well? Thank you very much for coming on, by the way. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on. I've really enjoyed it. It's been great to chat with you all as well. But yeah, if you want to check me out, my channel's Gooner Gossip TV. But to everyone that's watching this, please do subscribe to True Gooner podcast. You're so close, 9K. You're doing great things. So yeah, thank you so much for having me on, and I really appreciate it.
Sophie, lovely to meet you as well. I thought your insight was spot on tonight, and I will check out your channel
after. Good to see you, Seb, as well.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on your channel.
Oh, thank you so much. Lovely to meet you too. Big up Seb as well. Good to see you. Oh, you're very welcome. Good to meet you guys as well. Hope you enjoy the rest of the show, and I'm sure I'll speak soon. Bye.
Thank you,
Right.
Soph. Take care. See you soon. Yeah, so obviously Seb. By the way, guys, just before we move on, Soph's channel will be link in the description. If you're not already subscribed to her, check that out at the end of the video. But yeah, Seb, obviously coming to you, mate. Maybe we might have to get the popcorn out for this one, guys, if if there's something goes on. But listen, with
I'm consistent with what I said.
30th is when the window ends, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Friday. Yes.
Friday. So yeah, we've got till the Friday to sign players or a player. What do you think? What you expecting sort of come this Friday?
I'm expecting an attacker in. I mean, an attacker. I don't know who it will be, but I'm expecting one in. It's got to be because you cannot loan out Vieira and letting Nketiah go without signing an attacker, because even Arteta said in his press conference he knows we're short.
I think you don't. I think you don't do that unless you're confident you're bringing someone in. I really don't.
Probably someone. And yes, I'm seeing all these links with Nico Williams. As much as I would love him, he's not going to come. He's made it clear he's staying in Spain. So what I don't want them to do is waste their time on that, because we know we're not going to get anywhere. So move on. The player doesn't want to come.
I don't think there's much. I don't think there's much in the Nico Williams stuff. I think that's unlikely. I don't think it's out of the question, but I think it unlikely. I think I put it at less than 10% chance. But I think Arsenal will be keeping abreast of developments. I don't think that will be taking up a lot of time. But I think if there's a chance that Nico Williams changes his mind, and you're triggering that release clause at 45 million, I think it is.
Yes.
I think that's something you do. So I think you definitely keep yourself abreast of that. And if that's 1-2 phone calls this week, it's not going to be the biggest loss of time ever. And I don't think we're in a situation here where it's all in that basket and there's nothing else. What they might be is going, do you know what? There's a good chance we sign him next year, and they bring in a loan signing to do it next year. Now that's speculation on my part, but I could see something like that being in play for it. But they won't be wasting time on this, and I think they know where the market's at, and I think they have a good idea of what it is. Just because we don't doesn't mean that Arsenal don't.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm definitely expecting an attacker to come in. I think Reece Nelson will end up staying, which I'm cool with actually. I still think he's a good squad player, but I just don't think if Saka was to go down, I just don't really feel he's the answer to really play a consistent run of games without Saka in the team. But
I mean, he played well pre-season, of course, but I think you're right. I think if
they
offer
consistent enough to, if Saka was to be out for a while, he would be the consistent answer. You need someone a little bit more consistent to actually.
I mean, the cover for Saka is really tricky, isn't it? It's like the Harry Kane situation at Spurs. Who comes in to be the backup when you know that you're not going to be behind Saka? So I think that's quite tricky. So I think the answer is you buy someone that can play on both flanks or up front, or And
well, Neto was available to do that.
Yeah, and then he'd be unavailable for 41% of the time because he'd be injured. But there you go. It's so I think that's a type. But Neto is the type of player you look at, right? Nico Williams is that type of player, can play on both flanks.
If he's available, I take. He can play on both sides if he's available.
All right, Seb, I've got a question for you. Yeah,
so
if Arsenal end the window with just signing Marino, Calaflori, maybe that goalkeeper, what needs to happen in your opinion?
When it's not good enough, then we've wasted a big opportunity, and then things need to be held accountable. Because the thing is, Edu was the one that came out and said, "Don't worry, Arsenal fans, be patient. You'll be satisfied at the end of the window."
You did say that.
If you said that, then it's up to you. You have to deliver if you make bold statements like that. Because first of all, we're going for the title here that every Arsenal fan wants to see. And we're only going to get that if we get additions. But if you're just going to leave us short, and then we don't add, then it's all going to be down on this window, and we've all end up falling short by a couple of points again. And it's all going to be on this window, just like I've said in the last. in the last couple of podcasts, if we do not sort this attack line out and we end up falling short again by a few points, then don't win anything, this will be where you look back on, just like in previous windows. Remember the summer when we only signed Czech, and then we didn't win the league. We looked back on.
But we were nowhere close to winning the league at that point.
Yes, we were. No. Yes, we were. No. Do you not even remember that season? Leicester won it. That season when we only signed Czech, we were actually because that season before Chelsea had won it, and
everyone else capitulated. Look.
Yeah, but no. Look,
no one realistically thought we were going to compete for the league that season.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I actually predicted. Yes, we did. We should have won.
Yeah, but you predict that every year.
No, I don't.
Wait, was that the 2016 season?
Yes. No, yeah, the 2016, 15-16 season.
Yeah, when Leicester won.
Yes, we should never ever have finished behind. We should never ever finish behind Leicester. And if we'd gone out there,
about 10 points behind them.
We didn't even need much back then. Wait.
We finished about how many points did we finish behind Leicester?
10 in the end. But the thing is, never got to that point. We didn't even need much that then because we actually had a good side. We had Ramsey in his prime, Ozil in his prime, Sanchez in his prime, Walcott in his prime, Koscielny in his prime. Coquelin was coming through because all are there. We actually had a good side then that was capable with a few additions of actually going forward to winning that title. All it needed was another DM, a striker, and probably another defender. Then we probably would have done it. But again, that board at that time neglected that position. But now we've got I think we've got a better squad. So now we've got to go out there and do what's required. Get that attacker in. That can get us those extra points because the main difference between us and City is Haaland. He gets them those extra points when games are tight to get them those points to winning the title. And we need
to go and sign Haaland, yeah?
No. We have to do the same. And there's Osherman out there that can do it. There's Gorkarez out there that can potentially do it. I even reckon Ivan Toney is not far off in doing that. And they are available. So we've got to go and do it. And they will come. If we put the money down, they will come. So
look, I think to some extent Seb is right. I think those three players you could probably get. I think Osman is probably looking to go to the Premier League. I think that likely. I think he's going to look to get paid.
He will choose us over Chelsea because
I think he.
Champions League.
I think he will. This is pure speculation. I think it's pure speculation. I don't think he cared. I think this is pure speculation on my point. I think he will go to the team that will pay him the most, to be perfectly blunt. I could be wrong on that. That's pure speculation. I have no evidence for that. I just think he will. Look, I think this window, Arsenal, as I said earlier, will need a forward. However, I don't think that the gap between us and City is as big as it was. I think City have actually got weaker this summer.
Right,
I think we have got stronger. I think we have got stronger.
That, then go out there and do the business.
I think we've got stronger. Okay, so I think we are stronger in defence with Calafiori. I think we are stronger in midfield with Moreno coming in. Much as I loved Emil Smith Rowe, he wasn't playing, so therefore Moreno will. And I think he's good enough. I think you add an attacker, and I think that's that. Whereas City, I think, have got weaker as it stands at this moment. Just get him to see how many celebrations he can do. City got weaker. They've just lost Nunes today. I mean, that's a body rather than a good player. They've lost Alvarez, and they've not really. I like the new lad they signed for themselves.
They're looking at that striker from Celtic, and he'll get those extra points.
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, it's a big ask to go from Celtic to the Premier League.
Yeah, but he's only his backup.
But even so, Haaland goes down. That's a big drop in goals. I mean, I'm using Edouard as obviously the last Celtic striker I can remember coming into the Premier League. Now he's going into a weaker side at Palace, and that has to be factored in. But he was banging goals in at Celtic, so I think there's a big ask there to come in. So I think I think City are weak. I think there is a chance there, and I don't think this window is as bad as people say it is. I am concerned if we don't get the forward in. I am, but I don't think this has been a bad window to take, particularly given the state of the market, which up to now has been fairly flat. I think it is going to be quite spicy this week. And that's when I think Arsenal need to look to take one of these opportunities.
We have to.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I do not want to be coming to this weekend, going up to that Brighton game and thinking we've blown a massive opportunity. I don't want to be saying that. I want us to do everything we can to make sure we can go on and get this title. And we ain't going to do it without signing another attacker, especially when we're leaving us short. Havertz is good up front, but let's be honest, him up front all season is not going to win us the title because he's not consistent enough.
I think he'll get 20 goals this season if he plays.
And
Honestly,
Jesus,
I do.
and Jesus, good player, but first of all, injuries, and secondly, he's not as prolific as you want to be. Not as prolific.
Out of interest, why are you okay with Jesus, Neto being injured, but not Jesus?
Because but the thing is, Neto is a player you take the risk on. He is one of the best in the league, and he's perfect for our system. He was.
But you just criticised Jesus for being injured, and Neto's injured. And Neto has a worse injury record than Jesus.
Right, it was a mixture of not being prolific enough, and that it was a mixture of both.
Well,
because
Pepe has a better goal and assist record than
Jesus has actually been injured more than Neto in recent. Even because if you're counting his time at City as well, he's been injured more. They still took a punt on him when his injury record was quite bad at City. But I welcomed it.
I'm going to check that, but I don't.
Go on, look it up. Go on, check it.
I'm going to. I know. We'll see. We will see. I will do the maths because I like doing maths. We should move on while I do the maths because I like doing maths.
Yeah, counting his time as well with Arsenal. I'm
going to do the last 5 years. Don't you worry. I'll do the last 5 years. Don't you worry.
we got Seb doing all the celebrations. Seb for the Pepe for us. Yes, Seb.
Come on, check it.
7% we scored a goal.
I'm doing it.
All right, guys. Let's while Don's doing that, let's pin up some comments that we got earlier. Firstly, coming from my guy Rory, who's in Turkey. That's why he's on the show with us today. Big up. Hope you're enjoying Turkey, man, and hope you're getting the nice hair transplant as well. Now, where are you over Patino, Seb? Of course.
Right. Okay. Do you want me to have a conversation about that?
I do indeed, mate.
Right. Now, this was poor from the club because the thing is, Patino is ready for the first team. He's ready. So why is it that through those pre-season games in America was he not involved? Now, why is it? And especially now that you are getting rid of Vieira. Yes, okay, we wanted Nwaneri, but Patino was more than good enough. He was ready. His loan spells were pretty good at Swansea until that injury. And plus, every time when I've actually watched him, I've seen lots there that I like. And also, if he wasn't ready, or if he was, why did Barcelona, Juventus, PSG, and all the Milan clubs come in for him, sniff around him? Why did they all sniff around him? Because he's good enough.
Just really quickly.
I honestly
just really quickly. I've done the math.
Were you frozen out? Sorry.
He's frozen.
Just really quickly. He's had his Duracell bunny battery inserted, didn't he? Just really quickly. Am I frozen or can you hear me?
No, I can hear you.
You're good.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear? Oh, brilliant. Just really quickly, I've done the math, and Jesus has 15% more has missed 15% less games than Neto in the last 5 years. Just saying. And I've rounded to.
He's even rounded it, mate. He's even rounded it.
I've rounded it in your favour.
He's speechless.
Just saying.
He prefers not to speak.
I've done the
Yeah,
math.
but look, fine, okay. But the thing is, you were saying that why do we signing players
also-
that have what's that? Go on, finish. You're
Well,
frozen out.
Look, because when you're in the position when we signed Jesus, right?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
We wanted
Let me-
Osimhen.
let me-
That's
Brilliant.
something.
When you're in a position where fine, forget that. Right, we signed Jesus, right? Now Jesus does have an injury history. You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
But when you are doing where we were at that point in time, right, you have to take risks on players much
You
more
do.
than you do now. And the reason is because you need to attract players that the top clubs don't necessarily want, and they might not want them because they're injured. So Manchester United are doing it this year. They're taking a chance on Xerxes. They took a chance on Rasmus Højlund last year. They're taking a chance on players with a ceiling, right? Just as we did, and it's absolutely.
Nesta has a
I
ceiling.
praise them for it. Yeah, but you
Nesta has a ceiling.
hang on, wait. All right, but they're right to do that. But they also take gambles on players that might have an injury history because they potentially are that superstar player that elevates you. Arsenal did that with Jesus, knowing full well there was an injury history. We're now in a position where we want players where we know they can play. We know that they're not at risk, and we know they're at the right level because we can attract that player now. So you don't take the gamble on a player like Neto. Now, if Neto is fit consistently, you go all in, and I don't care whether we play £80 million for Neto. But you cannot take that risk when they're not available, when you're going for titles and stuff. And that's why we were right to miss out on Neto. And we're not in the position we were when we signed Jesus. Just really quickly as well on Ranieri being better than Patino, I see no evidence that Patino was ready to start, by the way. And I actually think it was
Why? Yeah, but have you actually watched enough of him? I have. And I know I have, and he's ready.
Well, we couldn't because he couldn't get into the Swansea side.
Yeah,
But that was after he was injured. That was after his injuries. Before his injuries, he was actually doing.
Well, so he lost his place due to injuries and a new manager, right, at Swansea.
Yeah,
He could not force his way back into the Swansea team. No disrespect for Swansea, that is a lower mid-table championship side, and he couldn't force his way into that side. Now, Charlie Patino came here with a lot of potential, a lot of fanfare, and we've hyped him up. And I think he's a lovely little player. I think he's really good technically. He's probably more suited to Spanish football, probably than English football. But the reality is, he couldn't get in the Swansea side, and he did not attract a bid from a significantly big club. He went to a second tier.
They all wanted him.
No. There were no
PSG and Inter Milan, AC Milan. They all came in for him.
No, they didn't. I asked you to prove. No, I asked you to prove that.
I showed it to you.
No. You sent me you sent me a tweet from Romano saying there was interest in him. That is not a bid. And if the interest was real, then you would have seen a bid. Do you really think if they wanted him, they wouldn't have paid £1 million to sign Charlie Patino? Do you really think if guys like that wanted him, or big sides in top flight football wanted him, they're not paying £1 million and he ends up at a second tier Spanish side? Now, I think he's going to do really well there, and I think Arsenal will cash in the future because of that sell-on clause.
We're going to regret that.
We're not going to regret that because we're going to get 50% of the money for a player that's clearly not ready for Arsenal at this point in time, doesn't want to sign a new contract. But he's not. He's not. He couldn't.
He's not going to sign a new contract if he doesn't get the chance to play. He's not going to.
And he's not going to get the chance to play because he can't play for Swansea, and no big teams wanted him. That's why you move on.
They did.
They didn't. If they did, they would have bid for him. How can you honestly sit there and say that if a big side like AC Milan wanted him or PSG wanted him, like you said they did, they're not paying £1 million? They're cash rich. Well, they didn't, did they? That's the thing. It's a fact. They didn't. They had the opportunity to do so, and they didn't. There's no way Deportivo La Coruña beat AC Milan to the signing of Charlie Patino for £1 million.
I reckon you left it a little bit longer. They would. Someone comes in.
Well, how much longer? You just said there's 5 days left of the window. How much longer do you want to leave it?
Well, yeah, but
you can't criticise Edu for not doing business because the window's nearly ending.
Why is it only 1 million? Why is it only that? We could have.
Because that's the market. That's what people wanted to pay for him.
Initially, Arsenal wanted at least 10.
Yes,
and they didn't get it. That is nonsense.
Which because no one wanted him.
They would have taken him.
Well, they clearly wouldn't have taken him because they didn't take him. And it's a fact they didn't take him. But also, we got 1 million, but we also got reportedly, and let's see, but it's reportedly a 50% sell on. That feels high to me, but a significant sell on at bet. So we saw this window. We benefited from those clauses. We got 2 million for McGuinness. I've not even heard of McGuinness. I thought he was a Top Gear presenter.
No, McGuinness wasn't ready.
Yeah, I know, but we benefited from
Patino
2 million.
And when Patino's ready, and when Ranieri's ready, Lewis Skelly's ready, Cozy Adubi was ready, but he went to Brighton.
Yeah, but Charlie Patino has no. I mean, it's just rational sense. There was no market.
When he was actually given his chance, when he played in that cup game, he was good. When he played against Nottingham Forest,
you're right. He was excellent against League One Sunderland.
Yeah, but what about Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup when we got knocked out? He was actually one of the very few players actually trying his hardest.
Brilliant.
And Leno.
You mean Leno can't get in the German squad?
No. Well, obviously, he's not going to get in the German squad now because he's at Fulham. If he stayed at Arsenal and actually was number one, he'd be number one right now because Neuer's just retired. He'd be number one. That is a fact.
Depends on how Germany want to play, which is out from the back, which is not his.
He is number one.
But seriously, Charlie Patino played absolutely his best. He tried his hardest in that Forest game. But you can't put someone into the starting 11 just because they tried their hardest when you're going for a title.
No. Because in that game, I remember that game very well. We were absolutely awful and deserved.
Yeah, we were absolutely awful. We
he
lost.
Was actually trying.
Brilliant.
Because then when you do that, you reward them with more opportunity. You reward them with more opportunity.
Well, that's a different conversation, isn't it?
That's how a player develops.
Yes, I would agree that you reward them with opportunities, right? But the fact is that we didn't at that point for whatever reason. But also, since then he's gone. He's had 2 spells in the Championship, which is a fairly decent level, and done not a lot, to be honest with you. And he probably wasn't rewarded with extra minutes in the team at that time because physically he's quite a small guy. Now he can't help that, right? I think he's a technically very good player. Spanish football suit him because of that. But actually, it may well have been, and I don't know, I'm speculating again, that the calculation at the time was to go and get more first-team minutes he plays week in, week out, which he wasn't going to do at Arsenal, and maybe the Premier League was a bit too physical for him. At that point, he was a young lad. He was 18 or something like that, right? He's still growing, etc., etc. That might have been the conversation, but the reality is, since then, he's gone on 2 loan spells, significant loan spells, and hasn't set the world alight. That's not the level to come into this Arsenal team right now. I'm sorry, it isn't.
Telling you now, we're making a big risk. I'm telling you now, we're making a big mistake here, and I want to see if you can see this one coming back to get us.
Really,
I can. I think he's technically brilliant. He has all the attributes. I think he's technically better be gifted.
Just to clarify, so you've watched him fully play for Swansea, and you've watched him play at Blackpool as well.
Well, I've seen clips. Yes, of course, I don't watch the whole games, but I've seen clips.
And that's and that's enough to say that he's better than Jan Weary.
Yeah, but I've also seen him in Arsenal as well, because I've seen him at Arsenal and those 2 loan spells when I watched.
So you've seen him in his 2 appearances at Arsenal 3 years ago,
and also in some academy games, and I knew for a fact that was a guy that's going to succeed. I knew it once I saw, and he's got some games. I even wrote an article last summer, not this summer. Last summer, I even wrote an article on this, and these are on some of the things that Arsenal need to do in the summer, as well as sign players. And one of them I said was get Patino ready, because every year there's always a youngster coming out, and going to go into and succeed. And he was
like Ranieri.
Yeah, him as well. But him as well. I said both him and Ranieri should have been promoted this season. Yes, get Vieira out on loan. Good move. Get El Nene gone, which they've done. Those 2 players would. And don't forget, there's more Champions League games. There's more Premier League games. There's cup games. That's the time you bed them in.
Hang on, just really quickly on that. So, firstly, there's other players that can play those. Miles Lewis Skelly, Ranieri. But secondly, you talk to me all the time about bidding off the cups, and you're saying you're going to play Charlie Patino in there.
No. That's not bidding off the cups.
Well, hang on. You said last season he was bidding off the cup because we didn't start Rice in the game against West Ham. And now Patino, it's fine.
No.
What is it? It can't be both.
Wait. Hold on. The reason why I thought we binned off that cup, I was at that game, was because it was when he bought them all on. He bought them on too late. Obviously, if he'd done it earlier, then that game could have been saved. It's because he bought them on all after we went 3-0 down. I didn't have a problem that day at that West Ham game with that starting 11. But he could tell by 50 minutes, half time, it weren't working. Then you get them all on. It's because of the timing when you gave them on.
I think there's a valid argument behind that. But, the reality is that, you've got to be careful what you wish for here. And I think the reality is when you look at it with Charlie Patino, I like Charlie Patino. I wish him well. I really wish he'd made it at Arsenal. I really do. And I think you're right. He's technically an incredibly good player. But I just think when you look at his body of work so far, it's not at that Arsenal level, particularly where it is now. Now, he might go out, light it up in Spain, get another move, and then come back. We've seen it with players like Daniel Marlon at Dortmund now, who's
he's
doing really well.
He's killing it over there.
Yeah, we've seen players like that do it, and he may well take that route. But the good news is we protect ourselves with the sell-on clause, reportedly 50%. Let's see if it is that. That seems high, as I say.
Yeah, but you're only going to get. Yeah, there's only 1 million we sold him for, so only 500k. Only 500.
No, you get 50% of the sell-on.
Oh, for whatever.
Yeah, you sell him for 50 million, you get 25.
Okay, cool. Fair enough.
So we protect ourselves well there, but I just don't think at this moment. At this moment, I just don't think he's there.
Maybe not, but I think we should have given him a punt. I really do think.
Just really quickly, Josh. 2 things. One, I'm older because I'm older than I look, and secondly, I had no need to argue about ketchup at Mackie D's because I don't like the ketchup at Mackie D's.
There we go.
See, I can read the comments in the chat whilst arguing.
There we go. Sev, we're going to move on from the Benzino stuff, man. What's your favourite chant?
We won the league at Anfield. Yeah, we won it at the Lane.
Did you watch that game too?
No one else can say the same.
Rory says, have you done your medical at Palace yet?
No. I know what he's referring to. And yes, Jordan Ayew is better than Eddie. Dom.
Dom, David Raya is 10 times the upgrade than Ramsdale.
Look,
yes, correct. Yes.
I'm not sure I'd go to 10 times, but I think at the time, I was stating my view at the time. I think Raya has undoubtedly proved that wrong, as I said earlier. That Raya is definitely the better goalkeeper. I said at the time, I thought he was the marginally better goalkeeper at the time, but I also factored in his age, which meant that Ramsdale could have got there. I think Raya has proved that he's only undisputed number 1. But again, Arsenal right to move on and get the ball progressing goalkeeper, which was Ramsdale, and now the progression to Raya. So they've gone through the phases, haven't they?
No, you haven't. There's no such thing as phases. No, you haven't. Right, on that. Right, I'll address that. No.
Hang on. That one could live forever, which is number 10 Oasis songs, and I've got my 10.
Right, sorry?
Oh, he's done it.
10 Oasis songs.
Oh,
No.
Well, yeah, I have done 10 Oasis songs.
No.
Are we done with Jesus in January? Says
no. I'm not ready to wash my hands with him right yet. I just don't think we can rely on him to be the starting striker all the time if we're going for the title.
In all likelihood, he's a player we move on probably from.
I think he's a very good striker, but just not consistent enough. Yeah.
If he stays fit, he's good, but he can't, unfortunately. But it's not one to move on from this year. Next year, you reappraise where you're at.
Yeah, potentially.
Rory, obviously not here today. He's at Turkey, as we said. He said, this is just me. I think he's on about the Brighton game. I kind of want us to interchange the front three. Not saying drop Havertz, but if we ain't signing the striker, then use Martinelli or Trossard through the middle. And if Martinelli, if you guys remember, I swear he played up front when we first signed him.
Yeah, he did.
He played really well.
Yeah, he did.
And
I think with the system we play, with the system we play, Trossard down the middle would be better.
I
But again, I don't think you can be doing that all the time if you want to be going for the league. Because
think he's an
but,
option. He's an option through the middle. He's an option through the middle. But I quite like the interchange between him and Havertz on that left side.
Yeah, that's good. That suits as well.
And that's why I like Trossard on that left. And I think there are games when Martinelli's your option and Martinelli plays. And I think there are times when Trossard is your option. This weekend, as I said earlier, is Trossard. But
yeah, there we go. Listen, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. As always, it's been a good podcast as always, man. It's been entertaining as always, especially when Seb and Dom go at each other.
I'll tell the truth. I tell the truth.
What was it? Where was it? It's like you guys are like a married couple. Someone said in the chat. So yeah,
I've been married 12 years. I've been married 12 years, and I've had more vows with Seb than I have my wife.
The thing is, I tell the truth because I want to win the league.
What? And I lie because I don't want to win the league.
No, I'm not saying that. But the thing is, if a club does a small thing wrong, or a big, not small thing, a big thing wrong, you'll find excuses to but the reason is, when the reality is, these boards, there's still work to do in the window, a lot of work to do.
Yes.
So
but no one's ever said that. It's not the case.
And they've got to go out there and deliver. And messing around, taking too long to get deals over the line, very simple ones over the line, while letting targets go.
Well, how do you know who the targets are? How do you know who the targets are? And also, do you really think Edu can't do two things at once? For instance, he can sign players. Come on, back that up. But he's not, for one. But secondly, I think here's a great example of Edu multitasking, right?
Go on then.
And I really wish Josh was on camera just for the reaction here when I say this. But
come back
he can sign players and ignore the fans at the same time. He's great at it. There's just one example of him multitasking.
Well, why did it take so long to get Calafiori over the line? Why has it taken, and we're still not done it, ever, to take Moreno over the line?
Marino's done. We all know it's done.
Yeah, I know, but why is it taking...
What are you complaining about it then? Simple deals. How do you know they're simple? Were you in the room?
No. Moreno, come on, 28 million. Come on, that doesn't take long to get done. If it's deals over 100 million or something, then yes, that one is expected to drag on and on and on.
Well, how does it make it less complex when it's less money?
Of course it does, because all you need to do, ring up, pay, done. It's not that difficult. Calafiori, that took weeks and weeks and weeks. And yes, I can understand there was a little bit of a debate with one of the sell-on clauses.
He's gone.
He's gone. Where's he gone?
He's gone.
So what happened there?
I don't know. We thought you'd left to drive Eddie to Crystal Palace.
I would actually. I can't. I'll drive him there right now. I'm not good enough. But yeah, I'm just saying, because the longer you take deals to get done, the faster your targets go, and then you're left with not much.
Well, not necessarily.
Firstly,
who says you was a target?
Oh.
You yourself said last week he wasn't on the list.
No, he wasn't. He should have been. He wasn't.
Well, therefore, he wasn't a target, was he?
He's on the list, apart from someone who doesn't want to come, Nico Williams. There better be someone there.
Just because you don't know what the list is doesn't mean there isn't a list.
Well, until I see evidence, then yes, I will know.
Oh, hang on, sorry. Hi, Edu, sorry. Could you just share the list with Seb, please? Just because it will make him feel better.
Oh, man.
We're more entertaining.
Reveals of this, so
I said about his karaoke the other night. I saw that as well.
I saw it.
Well, the thing is that there was this guy in the at the Sink Ports, and he was doing this DJ, and then he just randomly picked someone. He picked me because the way I was sitting, obviously on the side.
That wasn't random.
Get up, and at first And at first, I was like, no. So it's going to come on up. I was like, no. And I had no choice but to get up.
It wasn't random. I slipped him a tenner.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, come
It
on,
would,
Seb.
it would surprise me. I'm a tight bastard.
Can we hear something, Seb?
What do you want to hear? What, you want to hear the Ian Ramsey song?
Yeah, that one again. Come on. No, that's class.
I want to hear sorry is the hardest word.
No. What do you want to hear?
The Rams out one, Seb. Come on, that's
Okay, let me just quickly find for this. So go on, man.
Come on, Seb.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
No. Oh.
This is so much fun.
Right. I'm sorry, it's going to take. Right. While I find it, just carry on. Oh, man.
What are you still doing karaoke at the start of the stream, says Rory. What else we got? We got a question. Who will be the ideal striker for us?
Victor Osimhen. No, Isaac Osimhen. Isaac Osimhen.
Ideal striker. You know me, guys. I've always been a fan of Tony, but
yeah, that's up as well.
Victor Gyökeres, I think's the one I can see from Sporting, because apparently we sent our scouts to watch him as well. We've been sending his scouts to watch Sporting games, and he's already doing the business, man. I think 6 goals already. So literally, I'd go for him. But I'm liking the Osimhen, Seb, yeah, because his price had dropped. Like obviously the price tag was unbelievable with that 110. But now
I think if that price holds, then I think Seb is right. I have a horrible feeling that he's going to want extortionate wages. He said his agent said today he wants significant wages, and that might well scupper a deal. I don't know. I think we should make a concerted effort for Osimhen. The striker I would want is Isaac. I'm okay if a striker doesn't come in this window if we sign a wide forward. If that is because we go all in for Isaac next summer, believing he's available. If that's the plan, I can live with that. Problem is, we're not going to know if that's the plan. But I've always been interested in Gyökeres. I've always felt that Victor Gyökeres will come in this window. I might well be wrong on that, but I'm a big fan of his. Tony, I'm not that bothered about, to be blunt.
You ready, Seb?
Okay, yeah, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Someone says, "What about Chris Woods?"
Yes, I'm ready now. I'm ready now. Go on then. Oh, no.
Let's go, Seb.
This is going to be shown up. Oh dear, here we go.
And the good news is we recorded for prosperity.
Yes,
well excellent stuff.
Big up, man.
Yeah, well done, Seb. And I heard you just can't get enough of Edu either.
Still, Rayo is still number 1, and also Leno is still better.
Listen, Seb. Mate.
Leno makes that save. That Rayo did the other day. He also makes that as well, and he also makes that save that Ramsdale did against Leicester. I can tell you that as a fact.
He also single-handedly saved the world from cancer and solved that. And
listen, Seb, mate. Shout out where they can find you, man.
Instagram, Talk Arsenal FC, weekly articles, Arsenal Lounge.
Are you got any coming up?
Well, one was meant to be going up about the Champions League draw, but apparently what they did last weekend is they put last week's one up as well about whether we expected to win the league. So hopefully maybe they'll put it up this week, and then afterwards I'll just be running around talking about the transfer window, and then next few games. But yeah, there'll be some interesting topics to talk about because it's make or break time, and they better do the business. Who else says big trouble? From Luca as well. He'll have something to say.
Luca.
He'll have something to say. So come on, Edu. Get on your bikes. Get things ready.
Yeah, he'll be ranting from
Come on. I mean it. It's not funny anymore.
Oh, it really is quite funny from where I'm sat.
do the Henri for 5 years. Good luck, Seb.
What's that? What did he say before? No, put that comment out what he said before.
This one?
Yeah. Because
No.
I know, because the thing is that oh, you've turned it off now. Okay, yeah.
Oh, go on. Go on.
The thing is, every night when I usually go to the sink ports, there's a really good friend of mine who is also an Arsenal fan.
Mm.
But all these people want to do is put his hand round the neck, and I say, no, not round the neck.
That's what the ref said to Joel Linton too.
Yeah, exactly. When they did it to Havertz, you should never put your hands round other people's necks.
There we go.
Well, I was talking about the Bournemouth keeper Neto. To be fair, different Neto. You know, the one that stays fit.
Yeah. He's not going to be number one. Aren't they getting? They're getting Kepa on loan.
Yeah, they're getting Kepa on loan.
Dom, mate, big up coming on as always, man. Absolute pleasure to have you on as always. Just shout out where they can find you, man.
Absolutely nowhere. No, thanks for having me on. I haven't got a channel or anything like that. This is just for fun for me. I was on Gooner Gathering earlier tonight with Bertie, the poshest duo in football punditry. So go and check that out. And if there are any NFL fans, you can occasionally catch me on Online Big Blue, which is a Giants channel, but lots of other NFL content there. You can learn a lot about the game. Tim, who runs that channel, used to work in the NFL. So if anyone's interested in that, it's worth going to listen to him. But otherwise, normally you can catch me here trying to, cause wind-ups and fireworks and that sort of thing. Rory's gone. Where we can find Rory in the local McDonald's, in the corner, hot spotting. He's back.
I'll make sure to pass on the Newcastle season ticket way back.
Why is that? No, Dom. Oh no, now Dom. Get him. He's
Big up to all the Brighton fans in the chat as well, man. Big up to George, man. Big up to,
now on that.
Big up to
if he actually hold on. Get that comment back up.
What, this one?
Yeah, basically I showed him all my Premier League predictions. And I actually said Everton 11th, Brighton 13th. I did actually say that. But of course, it's still a long season. But of course, now with the way things have started, I could be wrong. And this Brighton manager does look pretty good from what I've seen. But we'll see what happens when he turns to the Emirates this weekend. And
they get absolutely battered by us.
I hope so. That'll be the ideal situation, but
yeah,
we have to wait and see. Then I'll go back to him and I'll say, "Sorry, George, I underestimated your manager. You're going to have a good.
There we
season.
Go. Seb's a man of his word.
You have to come to the Emirates and prove it first.
You're a man of your word, Seb, aren't you, mate? Yeah, love that. Who's older? You are the manager.
Brighton manager, definitely.
I'd love to say Brighton manager, but unfortunately that's not the case.
Big up to everyone from Soph's channel as well, and everyone on the Twitter platform, or X as they call it now. Thanks to everyone who tuned in over from there. As I said, all the web you can find everyone will be linked in the description. Thanks so much everyone who tuned in. We'll be back tomorrow, of course. I got a show with my guy Tony Claude at 8 o'clock, and then transfer show at 4 o'clock, and then obviously we've got we've got some interesting draws. We've got Carabao Cup. We're going to find out Wednesday who we're facing that one. And then
Cheltenham, isn't it?
And then,
no, it's not Cheltenham. They went out.
It's too easy. It's too easy.
They ran out. So you remembering all your
this guy as well. If we win, I'm allowed to put your hands on your neck, Seb.
He can put his hands around my neck, but not Adam's.
Real quickly, Ryan's question: third. Liverpool finished third.
Yeah, third. Top three.
Yeah, third probably. But yeah, obviously Champions League draw as well is on the Thursday.
I think it's done by a computer. I don't think it's not.
It is done by. Yeah, so
it's a new format, so they
It's
just,
not
they
at
just
5
choose.
p.m. So what are they going to do? They're just going to tell us the results and that's it.
I think
No,
it's very, like,
they're funny about longer than Liverpool did to sign that goalkeeper, and
Yeah.
the draw we made about 11 p.m. It takes forever to do those draws. I don't know what they do.
Wait, 11 p.m.
No, I'm joking. It starts at 5, but they take hours to do these draws. UEFA. I don't know what takes them so long.
No, but they ain't going to do it like, you know how they
No,
draw it out?
yeah, no, I know it's all by computer, but I wouldn't be shocked to see them sort of, picture of,
Waffle.
yeah, or
waffle,
whatever it is. Yeah.
waffle.
The old it's Hadron Super Collider or something, sending stuff around. I mean, for some reason it takes forever for them to do the draws. So God knows what time that will be announced.
Oh, there we go.
Hopefully, it's just as you say, straight up 5 o'clock. Bang! Here's your fixtures.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully. But anyway, guys, big everyone who tuned in as always. And of course, we're out of here. Thanks everyone who came on, everyone who
all comments. Let's get those comments.
well.
Let's get those comments.
What one?
Let's get those. Get those.
This one?
Oh, get out of here! Oh, get out of here! Look.
This is next
Get out of here! I mean, if he does that, he'll have me to deal with.
Oh, there we go.
He'll have me to deal with, and it will not be pleasant.
Big up, guys. Big up, Seb, man.
And you see, they just winding me up. You just calm.
It's not difficult, to be fair.
It's not difficult. Yeah, it's not
Why is it
difficult.
not difficult? Why is it not difficult? Why? Because you wind me up all the time. Because I want to win. I want to win trophies, and I hold this club standards to Real Madrid. And because we were told we were moving to the Emirates to compete with Real Madrid, so of course
I hate to break it to you, but they lied.
Well, they should all go then.
They have. They're not here anymore.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Okay. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Thank goodness for that.
Guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Big up everyone tuned in. I'll see you Monday. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big up everyone. Come on, you guys. We're out of here.